Greetings, Minecrafters, and welcome to another, hear the birds, another exciting discussion on all things Minecraft and well-being. Remember that Minecraft is about becoming the boss of your brain, and there, if you see me doing like this, it's the bugs. You know, we talked about it, the bugs. Leftover nail polish from the wedding. I don't usually do that. It's a little weird for me, but anyway, stop allowing, stop, what am I trying to say? Stop identifying, wrapping your own personal identity around what other people think. It's just so dumb. Yet we slide into it. We slide into it because it's not always easy. We talked about getting pulled out of our frames, and we got to get back into our frames, right? So this has to do with basically three things. We got to trust ourselves. And when we're not trusting ourselves, remember that we are not trusting the divine connection that kind of snaps all of us together like Legos. And that's huge, because when we're not doing that, self-doubt creeps in, and it's just like spiral down. Gotta trust ourselves, because remember, not doing so is not trusting our higher power, source, God, whatever that is for you. And then it's so important to be aware of ourselves, to really, really be aware of ourselves, imperfections, all of it, and to wrap around ourselves with the love and kindness. Wow, there's such a symphony going on. Hopefully you can hear it. And also the brook behind me. Anyway, so we have self-trust, self-awareness, and asking ourselves, what do I think about whatever said situation? How do I feel about whatever said situation? And what do I really want to do? What do I really want to do? Not what other people want to do, not whatever it is for optics. I have to be seen at this or be seen at that so everybody knows I'm there, I'm a key player. Waste of life minutes. I mean, there are certain times, there are exceptions to that, just like, most things in life are not here or here, right? There are certain things you just have to be at. But, sacrificing a beautiful, Tuesday morning or Sunday afternoon to just be seen somewhere, dumb. And then the next thing is our intuition, to trust our intuition. And Oprah's talked a lot about this with listening to the whispers, because this is just me chasing bugs. That's why my hands are moving around. The deer flies take a chunk out of you, it's like a real bite. Anyway, intuition. So it's like when we're listening to the whispers, when we are talking to the universe, or if that's God for you, or higher power, source with a capital S, whatever, the intuition that we're hearing back, the universe talking back to us. So as Oprah would say, listen to the whispers until they turn into bricks. Okay, so it's those three things. So it's trusting ourselves, which means trusting the divine connection that attaches us all together, and self-awareness, and then intuition, and listening to our own intuition. This is what helps us, stay in the frame. Stay in the frame and not getting all wrapped up in social comparison. And remember that when somebody says, oh, my reputation's at stake, oh, my reputation, there's nothing you can do about your reputation, because it doesn't exist in your head or in you anywhere. Your reputation's in all kinds of other people's heads. And since we can only control ourselves, we can't, jump into their minds and change it up. It's just not how it works. So let go of that right now. It just makes it all easier. And then social media, of course, has a huge part to do with this. We're not saying it, they're like rolling it. We're not saying that social media doesn't have advantages. Obviously it does. I'm loving doing these YouTube videos so I can reach people. As you know, one of my main missions in this life is to help people see their own value and to spread as much positivity around as possible. And social media helps with that, And I will tell you, just quite honestly, I do have a 10-minute, I only go 15 at most. I have a 10-minute limit per day for myself on social media. 10 minutes, with an occasional stretch to 15 if necessary, and that's not very common. 10 minutes is all I do. I put the videos on, check things quickly, and off. So the thing with social media is that gets us locked into social comparison. I think I mentioned that I actually did my research on the effects of social media and well-being, and one of the theories I based it on was the one of Leon Festinger, early 1950s. I think it was 1951. Anyway, Leon got it way early on that we get really wrapped up in what other people have. And of course in the 50s it was like, oh, the Murphy's got a new station wagon. Oh my God. Difference is when Mr. Murphy, because it would have been Mr. Murphy, pulls the new family station wagon in the garage, we don't think about it anymore. Versus social media, it's 24/7. And I know from my own young adults, my students and my own young adults, they're all my own, I love my students, my rock stars, they talk about it a lot. It's a 24/7 just need, like almost like a compulsion to stay connected. Many of them are actually in agony if they're not connected. And what my research was, like basically the minute we click on the phone, even if we don't know what we're about to see, there's an immediate mood shift. It's just true. And the brain can't help to compare. The association cortex is constantly making associations. It's also what's the most active, or what's very active when we're in the dream state. So even if we don't want to compare, we just do, because the brain can't shut it off. So-and-so's in a relationship. So-and-so has a new house. So-and-so got into graduate school. So-and-so got a great first job. So-and-so is able to retire. Like, what's the matter with me? So we naturally do that stuff. And if we're all wrapped up in that, it's going to throw a huge wrench in the authentic journey, the authentic path, because we can't become whole and complete when we're living in all these other frames. We have to live in our own frame to become whole and complete. It's just how it is. Our wholeness and completeness is already there. We just have to access it. And also, good prevention for burnout, people aren't going to like this, that's what my students say, is to really stop this, to unplug the drug. If you can't unplug for a whole day or even a half a day, I'm not saying it with judgment, I know it's hard, at least, one big at least, is to not look at your phone for at least 20 minutes. I mean, more is better. When you wake up in the morning, I know when I ask my students, nearly 100% of their hands go up when what is the first thing you do in the morning, and it's the phone. And think about how that starts out your day. You're comparing within milliseconds of your awakened state of consciousness. Think what that does for the brain. It's not good. Nishkit, it's bad. It's totally bad. And if you can at least delay it 20 minutes, preferably an hour or more, get some tea, do your gratitude journal, read a positive affirmation. Even if you can delay it 5 minutes, it's better than no minutes, right? Because it's just, and actually remember that after it's about 21 days on average for a habit to shift and stick. So even if you start with 5 minutes, work up to 10, 15, I am sure, I am positive you will think and feel a change in your life if you can put that off and not look at your phone first thing when you wake up. And what you do with that is a 20-second rule, and put it someplace that it takes you more than 20 seconds to get to when you wake up, because it's more of a pain in the butt. And you're more likely to be successful with this. Like, stick it in a sock drawer in somebody else's drawer, out in the garage, or in your glove box in your car. You got to go all the way outside and unlock and all that, and you'll be able better apt to do it. And then this is the other thing. Think of one thing while you're in the morning, being off your phone. Hopefully, think of one thing you can do to make this day is the greatest possible. Just one thing, whether it's splurge on a lunch, plan a walk with a friend. Take 15 minutes out of your lunch hour to read, whatever. One thing, just one small thing to make this day so worth it for you and unfold the best that it can. And then lastly is go for a walk. I'm a big fan. I'm out here, I'm sitting right now because bugs are a little nuts and I'm trying to have a chat with you, but G and I are going to walk soon. We are not in the deep woods. It's a little easier to not smack at the bugs, but they like the deep woods. But we like the deep woods. We're also coexisting. All right, so go for a walk, and that's really it. And I want to give some shout-outs. Jay Shetty, I've been listening to him lately, so shout out to him. But realize I do the best I can with giving credit, because I listen to podcasts from my greatest teachers, Wayne Dyer, Oprah, and Aaron Doughty also, and so many people. I also read voraciously, so I do the best I can to give appropriate shout-outs. But anyway, so that's it. So we're talking about self-trust, which means trusting in the divine connection between all of us. Self-awareness, you got to know you and forget about pieces of reputations in other people's heads. And then listening to your intuition, which is the universe talking back to you when you put out there what it is that you like. Awesome. And unplug the drug. Do not look at your phone first thing in the morning. And that's it. This is Kimberly Quinn signing off from the deep woods of northern Vermont. Have a mindful day.